struggles daily, almost every day. From household problems, social circles, conflict within ourselves, and of course, pressure from academics. Students often dread the idea of not meeting the actual expectations that they have created from themselves. Or maybe it could be that they are trying to satisfy their parents. We'll never know. But one thing's for sure is that each student's reason varies. From simply getting a low mark on any subject they have reviewed, or for not performing very well on the class presentation, there is the subtle impact to them that affects not only their emotional state, but also their mental provinces and up to their physical health, ruining them in the most silent way, yet in the most manner. And these causes are mainly elicited by academic anxiety. And this video will serve as a guidepost, a framework to notice early signs of academic anxiety and become fully aware of it, to prevent it from getting serious and to recognize some coping strategies that we can use in order to navigate its impact.
Naiiyak na naman.
Pressure.
Kinakabahan.
Natatakot ako.
Nawawalan po ako sa focus. Frustrated.
Nakakakaba.
Bakit lang po? Ginagawa ko, nagpapahinga ako. Nire-reset ko yung sarili ko.
Nalalagpasan ako by mag-schedule ka. Yun nga, magta-time management ka. Kailangan mo ayusin kung ano yung mga dapat mong unahin na sagutan and gawin.
Pinipili ko po siyang lagpasan na lang po muna sa kapag meron na akong mga handa ng tanong or mga sagot, sa ako po binabalikan yung mga hindi ko po nasagutan.
Coping mechanism ko yung paglalaro ng video games, mobile games.
Meron po kasi ako parang arts, nag-arts kasi ako. So doon ko siya parang na-express kung paano ko siya ma-alis or mapakalma sa sarili ko.
Ang ginagawa ko is napapahinga ako or tinutulog ko para ma-relieve. Then, tsaka ako babalik sa pagkakas. Kasi hindi na ako pwedeng, porket nahirapan ka is, hindi mo na parang babalikan yung bagay mo, di ba? Parang kailangan mo lang more time para gawin ulit yun. Ayun.
Good day, everyone. So, before we proceed in discussing the extent of academic anxiety, let me introduce myself first and as well as my group mates. Hello again, my name is Cheska Fiona Soso.
Hello, and I am Josh Stefan Cruzco.
And I am Leia May Sarmiento.
I'm Sheena Nicole B. Mariano.
And I am Kate Allen Legario.
Okay, so our webinar agenda for today is the understanding academic anxiety. So, i-expect natin na matatakal natin yung causes, impact, and coping strategies na pwede natin magamit para sa mga student at para ma-cope nila ng maayos yung academic anxiety at maunawaan nila yung in-depth information or knowledge about academic anxiety. Next slide po. Okay, so ayan. Again, webinar agenda, itatakal natin what is academic anxiety.
So, itatakal natin yung definition niya. Second is, what are the common causes of academic anxiety? So, we are going to tackle about the causes, yung mga implication, as well as the sign, the subtle signs that we can observe in the student throughout throughout their academic journey. Third, how does academic anxiety affect student performance and well-being? So, itatakal natin kung paano yung academic anxiety nakakaapekto sa performance ng student at sa well-being niya. Hindi lang mentally, hindi lang emotionally, as well as physically. How does academic anxiety manifest in virtual or online learning environments? So, mapapansin natin na yung academic anxiety, hindi lang siya nag-occur in room settings. Makikita din natin or mapapansin din natin, ma-observe din natin siya on online sessions with our professors every time na nagkakaroon tayo ng online meeting, online classes. What strategies can help manage or reduce academic anxiety? So dito, itatakal na natin yung mga coping strategies, yung termination process na kung saan pwedeng magamit ang student para ma-eradicate completely yung academic anxiety, or kung hindi man ma-eradicate completely, is magkaroon or equip tayo ng mga knowledge na pwede natin magamit para ma-lessen yung impact ng academic anxiety. Last one is, how does managing academic anxiety contribute to overall student growth? Okay, so dito na itatakal natin kung paano ba yung mga termination process and mga coping skills na matututunan natin na paano siya makakaapekto sa growth ng isang student pagkatapos natin i-apply lahat ng yan. Next slide. So, ayan, academic anxiety. What exactly is academic anxiety? Meron ba sa inyo may idea about academic anxiety? Tatakal natin. Next slide po. So, ayan. Academic anxiety is a form of stress or worry specifically related to academic tasks. So, nandyan na. Anxiety about academic in pedagogical settings, such as exams, deadlines, classroom performance, and academic expectations. So, dito pa lang, sa unang paragraph pa lang, meron na tayong hint kung kailan mostly nag-occur yung academic anxiety. So, mostly, nag-occur siya kapag marami tayong ginagawa, malapit na yung mga deadline, kapag nag-brainstorm tayo sa mga exam, at yung mga expectation ng mga tao sa atin, kapag in terms of performing well sa ACADS. So, it is characterized by persistent nervousness, fear of failure, and difficulty concentrating. So, dito din, may hint na din tayo kung ano yung mga nararanasan ng mga student na nag-experience ng academic anxiety. So, yung iba, nanonervous sila, may takot silang nabibuild sa sarili nila, at nahihirapan silang mag-concentrate. Gist pa lang to ng mga signs, gist pa lang to ng mga causes, mga implications. Mamaya, mas i-elaborate natin kung ano yung pinaka-extent niya para mas maunawaan ng mga audience natin. Common causes include high self-expectation, parental or teacher pressure, competitive environments, heavy workloads, and past negative experiences. So dito, papansin natin na usually ito yung mga causes kung bakit nag-occur yung academic anxiety, katulad na nga lang ng pressure na bibuild natin sa sarili natin, or minsan pressure na itinathrow ng mga tao sa paligid natin, katulad ng mga teachers, ng mga parents, and as well as heavy workloads, nakakadagdag din yan. Kasi aminin natin na kapag patong-patong yung mga gawain, mas tend na mag-think tayo negatively na hindi natin kaya kasi hindi pa natin nasusubukan at the moment. Ganun yung mga nafe-feel ng mga ibang estudyante na kapag marami silang gawain, lalo kapag hindi organized yung utak mo, mas tend na mag-think sila na, ay, hindi ko kaya. At thus, bababa yung self-confidence nila. At hindi lang bababa yung self-confidence nila, mas tend na hindi sila mas mag-perform ng maayos kasi wala yung thinking na positive sa kanila na kaya nila. Wala silang ganun pag-iisip. So, academic anxiety can manifest physically through symptoms such as headache, fatigue, and rapid heartbeat, and emotionally through irritability, low self-esteem, and decreased motivation. Okay, so ayan, hindi lang pala siya nakaka-apekto mentally and emotionally, nakaka-apekto din pala siya physically. Okay, so isipin mo yung sarili mo, if nakaka-experience ka ng academic anxiety, may mafe-feel tayong parang sikip sa dibdib natin. Isa yun sa implication, hindi lang dahil nag-overreact tayo or baka talagang yun lang talaga yung reaction natin sa stimulus na natatanggap natin, hindi yun ganun. Ibig sabihin nun, may nakaka-apekto na pala siya. Yung effect na yun is hindi na pala siya nakakabuti sa atin. Kasi nagkakaroon na tayo ng ng mga health implication eh. Katulad na ng headache, fatigue, and rapid heartbeat, yung tipong iniisip mo pala yung schoolworks mo, napapagod ka na. Sa inyo, na talagang exposed ka sa academic anxiety. Ganon din sa rapid heartbeat. Yung nararamdaman nyo before, katulad ng exam natin sa statistics, di ba? Kinakabahan tayo, nagpapalpitate na tayo, wala pa naman tayo sa exciting part kung saan magsasagot tayo. Ganon din. Ganon din sa emotionally. Nag-occur din siya, pero in a form na nagiging irritable tayo. Yung may nagka-cram tayo, kinalabit lang tayo ng kaibigan natin, ang nangyayari, galit na tayo agad. I mean, medyo irritable na tayo na, huwag mo na akong hawakan, ganun, ganyan. So, katulad, kasama na rin yung low self-esteem and decreased motivation, okay? So, hindi mo masasabi ng isang tao, tamad siya. Hindi ka pwede mag-jump agad sa conclusion na tamad yung isang tao dahil hindi lang siya nagpe-perform. Katulad na rin yan sa mga groupings. Hindi kasi natin alam yung pinagdadaanan ng mga tao. Maybe, very, very consumed na siya sa academic pressure, academic anxiety. Magkaiba pa yung household concerns niya sa bahay. Hindi nyo alam, meron pala siyang pinagdadaanan. Kaya hindi natin masasabi na tamad yung mga taong, mga estudyante na hindi nakakapag-perform ng maayos. Hindi yan dahil sa hindi nila gusto or hindi sila willing. Willing sila kasi hindi nila ma-find sa sarili nila yung tamang motivation na kailangan nilang i-apply para mangyari yung para makapag-perform sila ng maayos. Okay. Next slide po.
So, bago tayo sa academic anxiety. Ang academic anxiety daw is like a tiny invisible gremlin that lives behind your back. So, behind every deadline pala, or exam, essay submission, and students na mafe-feel nila na yung puso nila ay ang bilis na ng pagtibok dahil nga sa slight syllabus lang or mga blinking cursors sa blank pages caused by high expectation from parents, teachers, and many more pa. So, sinasabi dito na lahat ng estudyante ay nakaka-experience ng academic anxiety. Even though, kahit na yung outside self nila is not like, hindi siya hindi siya parang nag-e-emit na parang meron siyang academic anxiety. Kumbaga, hindi man lang siya parang kinakabahan. Well, you can't really say na hindi siya kinakabahan kasi porque yung outside self niya is kind of calm, kumbaga calm state. Pero, ang hindi nyo nakikita is yung external. Yung sa kalooban, kung ano yung tumatakbo sa isip nila. Kung ano yung nafe-feel nila. Hindi mo, malay mo. Kaganyan sabi ni colleague Cheska na, ayun nga, dahil nga sa 4K groupings, hindi siya nagko-comply, ay hindi ka dapat pwede mag-jump sa conclusion na pabigat siya or something like that. Kasi nga, iba nga yung nararamdaman, yung iba yung pumapasok sa isip nila or baka overloaded na sa pag-iisip at marami ring iniisip yung taong yun. Kumbaga sabihin na lang natin sa example, may isang tao, si Jake. Jake ang pangalan niya. At every time na magi-step siya sa room niya is meron kaagad surge na anxiety kapag napapasok siya dun sa room. It's either caused by past negative experience or ano, kumbaga yung environment niya ng school. It's either sa parents, sa teachers, or other students din. Kaya, every time napapasok siya sa room, may surge ng anxiety kaagad. Kahit hindi pa siya nakakaupo sa upuan niya. Yun lang po. Next slide.
So ngayon, dako naman na tayo sa causes of academic anxiety. Next slide po. So, yung academic anxiety daw can come from several sources, including high expectation from parents, teachers, or even oneself. A competitive school environment and the fear of failure can increase pressure and stress. Students may also feel overwhelmed by a heavy workload, limited time, or poor study habit. Social comparison and past negative academic experiences can further add to anxiety. So yung academic anxiety po, ito po kasi yung stress or worry na nararamdaman ng students dahil sa schoolwork. Nagkakaroon tayo ng ganito dahil sa mataas na expectation, competitive na environment, takot tayo na mabagsak, sobrang daming task, at yung mga past negative experience natin na nararanasan natin. Because of that, mas nagiging anxious ang students at nahihirapan mag-focus o mag-perform ng maayos. And anxiety po happens when your mind feels threatened, pressure, or overwhelmed, even if wala namang real danger talaga. So ngayon po, i-explain ko sa inyo kahit briefly lang kung ano po ba yung mga causes of our anxiety o yung mga anxiety na nararanasan ng mga estudyante. Una na po dito yung high expectation. So yung high expectation po, kapag mataas yung standard mo sa sarili mo, ng parents mo, or yung teacher po, nafe-feel mo, nape-pressured ka na gawin yung best mo para makita nila na nagagawa mo talaga yung best mo talaga as a student. And also po, nagiging epekto nito sa atin, sa sarili natin, na natatakot tayo na magkamali. Kaya tumataas po yung worry natin na baka magkamali tayo. And meron din tayong competitive environment. So yung competitive environment naman po, ito yung mga taong nasa paligid natin, mga kaibigan natin, na malaki yung expectation nila na kaya mong gawin. Kaya mo siyang gawin na hindi mo siya kayang magawa yung best mo. And nagiging epekto ng competitive environment is kailangan mo talagang maging perpekto sa panlabas sa kung ano yung nakikita talaga ng mga tao sa'yo. And meron din tayong fear of failure. So ito namang fear of failure is tayo. Di ba tinatanong natin yung sarili natin na what if bumagsak ako? Or what if hindi ko kaya? Kaya nagiging epekto to sa atin na baka maging negative outcomes yung overthink natin sa sarili natin na hindi natin kayang gawin, na baka bumagsak ka, kaya tawag nito, nagkukos talaga siya ng panic and stress sa isang estudyante. And meron din tayong heavy workload. So yung heavy workload po, ito po yung mga sabay-sabay na deadlines, projects, at exams. So alam naman po natin as a student na dumadating talaga yung panahon na nagsasabay-sabay talaga yung mga gawain sa school. Kaya nagiging epekto sa estudyante, na-overwhelm sila at hindi nila alam kung saan sila magsisimula. And meron din tayong time pressure. Kapag kakunti na lang yung oras, pero madami yung task na binibigay sa atin, nagiging epekto sa atin ito na stress tayo, and parang hindi na natin na-handle yung mga task na gagawin natin. And meron din tayong lack of study habits. Ito namang lack of study habits, ito naman yung poor time management or procrastination natin or lagi tayong na-delay. Kaya itong lack of study habits, nangyayari to kasi hindi natin nagagawa um, yung parang time management natin na dapat natin ginagawa um, during that task, di ba? And then meron din tayong social comparison. So yung social comparison po, pag tinitignan natin yung mga grades natin or achievements ng iba, di ba siguro naman nakakaranas kayo na parang naiinggit tayo na sana ganito din yung grades ko. Bakit ganito yung grades ni ginawa ko naman yung best ko. Kaya nagiging epekto talaga sa atin na to. Parang hindi to nagiging good enough kasi tumataas yung anxiety and stress level na nararanasan natin. And meron din tayong past negative experiences. So itong past negative experiences, ito yung mga nararanasan natin dati as a student. Kanwari, bumagsak tayo dati, napahiya tayo sa harap ng mga kaklase natin, and napagsabihan tayo ng teacher natin ng masasakit na salita. Kaya yung nagiging epekto na to sa utak natin na natatakot tayo na mangyari ulit yun. And meron din tayong, hindi to kasama sa PPT, pero gusto ko siyang isama. Ito yung isolation or lack of support, especially po sa pag meron tayong online learning class, di ba? Yung online class natin. Pag wala tayong direct guidance, parang nararanasan natin or nafe-feel natin na mag-isa lang tayo and nadidistract tayo or nadidisconnected tayo. Kasi alam naman natin na kapag online class, minsan sarili lang talaga natin yung kasangga natin, sarili lang natin yung pinagtatanungan natin. Meron man tayong kaklase pero hindi naman sila lahat, 'di ba? Hindi naman lahat sila pwede nating tanungan. Kaya ayan lang po yung mga causes of anxiety.
So, dako naman po tayo sa coping strategies against academics anxiety. Next slide po.
Okay, so there are several effective ways to manage academic anxiety. Visual aids, demonstrations, simple step-by-step techniques can help students understand and apply coping strategies. These include breathing exercises, time management, breaking tasks into smaller steps, positive self-talk, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So, nasa part na tayo where discuss na natin yung mga things or yung mga practices na pwede natin mai-apply in order to prevent academic anxiety from fully integrating to our body system. Kasi if ihahayaan lang natin siya, if hindi natin siya bibigyan ng malaking pagpansin, if hindi natin siya pagtutuan ng pansin, mas lalala lang siya, magiging trauma siya. At alam niyo yung trauma, hindi siya nahi-heal ng overnight. It takes time talaga para ma-heal. And yung mga trauma na yun, usually, nag-root siya sa mga iba't ibang situations sa life natin. At usually, hindi natin nakakayanan na mag-act accordingly sa mga stimulus na yun, i-discuss natin yung mga coping strategies na pwede natin magamit. Papangunahan to ni Sheena.
So, alam naman po natin na yung academic anxiety po is nangyayari to kapag ang students po is nakaka-feel ng or na-overwhelm po sila sa school requirements like yung deadlines po, quizzes, presentations, or expectations po. So here are the coping strategies na makakapagpa-help po sa atin na ma-manage yung stress on ma-improve yung focus and ma-maintain po yung emotional balance po. So, una po dyan is yung time management. So, alam naman po natin, yung meaning ng time management is to organize your schedule so you can finish school tasks without rushing or cramming. So, kapag po ang student is pinaplan po nila ahead of time yung activities po nila or yung gagawin po nila, mafe-feel po nila na in control po sila and less stress. So, nakakapagpa-help din po ito para ma-prevent yung last-minute work, which is one of the biggest causes of academic anxiety. Example po dyan is gumagamit ka po ng planner or yung phone calendar po natin to list yung assignment po natin or yung to-do list po. Nakakapagpa-set ng reminders po sa atin and nadi-divide niya rin po yung araw natin into specific study hours and break times. Next naman po is yung effective study habits. So, yung good study habits is nakakapag-improve po siya sa understanding and memory. When students is my clear study routine, like finding a quiet place or removing distractions and reviewing lessons regularly, they gain more confidence and feel more prepared and nakakapag-reduce din po siya ng anxiety during quizzes and exams. Example na lang po dyan is nire-review niyo po yung notes niyo for at least 20 to 30 minutes after class or gumagamit po kayo ng mga techniques like yung highlighting po, summarizing, or even making flashcards. Next naman po dyan is yung goal setting. So, ang goal setting po is nakakapagpa-help po siya sa students to focus and stay motivated. So yung goals po is nakakapagbigay direction po siya, especially during busy weeks. So kapag po yung mga big task po is na ma-manage po and nakakapagpa-help din po ng pag-track ng progress and nakakapag-reduce po ng feeling of being overwhelmed. So example po dyan is kunwari po sa linggong ito is sinabi po sa sarili mo na makakapag-finish ka ng 2 chapters of kunwari po, psych stats, ganon. And yung daily goal po na makapag-complete po ng 1 assignment after dinner or before dinner, ganon. Next po dyan is yung mindfulness and relaxation. So yung mindfulness po is nakakapagpa-help po siya again sa student to stay present and calm. So kapag po kasi nag-focus ka, example po sa breathing po or yung surroundings niyo po, yung mind po natin is nare-relax and nakakapagpa-stop po siya ng overthinking. So yung relaxation techniques po is nakakapagpa-lower po siya ng stress levels and yung brain po natin is parang mas nagiging ready pa po siya na matuto. So example po dyan is doing deep breathing for 5 minutes po before studying or meditating po yung mga short video po sa YouTube, nakakapagpa-help din po yun yung pag-meditate or taking slow breaths po when feeling pressured. Next po dyan yung physical exercise. So alam po natin na lalo po kay Josh, especially kasi po basketballista nga po siya, nakakapagpa-help po ito sa kanya. Yung physical activity po is nakakapag-release po siya ng endorphins, which are natural stress relievers. So, ang exercise po is nakakapagpa-help po siya sa mga estudyante like us to clear their minds po or makapagpa-boost ng energy and improve focus. So, even yung light movement po natin is can make a big difference in reducing academic anxiety. Example po dyan yung taking short walks, stretching for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, dancing po, or doing simple exercise after long study hours. Next po dyan is yung social support. Alam naman po natin na talking to others is a powerful way to lessen yung anxiety po natin. Like, pag-share po ng problem sa family, friends, or even our classmates po, is nakakapagpa-help po siya sa mga students na ma-feel understood and feel supported. So yung social support po is nakapag-remind po sa atin na as students na hindi po tayo nag-iisa and that people are willing to help. Example po dyan is yung pag-join po ng study group o yung paghahadal po nating paghahadal po ng mga pagkakaibigan, ganun, pag-share po ng ideas or yung pag-express po ng feelings, ganun, is nakapagpa-help po siya sa mga estudyante na magkaroon ng less stress po. Ganon, about school. Next po dyan is yung positive self-talk. So, yung positive self-talk po, it means encouraging yourself instead of criticizing your abilities. So, nakapagpa-help po siya na ma-change yung negative thoughts like yung pagsasabi po natin na I'm not good enough or hindi po ako magaling sa ganitong bagay into more hopeful thoughts nakakapag-improve din po ito ng self-confidence and nakakapag-reduce ng anxiety, especially before exams or presentation. Example po dito is telling yourself, I can handle this, kaya-kaya ko to, pinaghandaan ko to, and yung mistake po is part lang po siya ng learning, ganon. Next po dyan is yung breaking task into smaller steps. Sabi nga po kanina ni Ate Kate na ang ginagawa niya po is ini-eliminate niya raw po, ganun. Tapos nagsimula po siya sa lower to higher. Same lang din po yan siya dito sa breaking task into smaller steps. So, kasi po yung big task, alam naman po natin na nakaka-overwhelm po siya sa atin. But breaking them into smaller parts or steps makes them easier to start and finish. So, ang doing task is one step at a time lang po siya and nakakapag-reduce po siya ng pressure itself and nakakapagpa-help again po siya sa students na makakita ng progress in which na motivate niya po tayo na mag-continue. Example po dito, kunyari po, sa research project, sa day 1 po, sa day 1, magko-collect ka lang ng information. Sa day 2, gagawa ka ng outline. Sa day 3, mag-write ka na ng introduction and so on. Next naman po yung healthy lifestyle. Iba po sa atin is pag-release po nila ng pagiging overwhelmed po nila is yung sa healthy body po. Nag-support din po kasi yun sa healthy mind. So, example po dyan, yung proper sleep, nutrition, hydration, and balanced routines improve concentration and When the body is well rested, students handle school stress better and stay more productive. Example po dyan, yung pagtutulog po natin ng 7 to 8 hours and pag-eat po natin ng balanced meals and yung pag-drink po natin ng enough water and pag-avoid po natin ng too much caffeine or late night phone use. Next po dyan is yung last but not the least, yung seeking professional help. So kapag po kasi yung anxiety natin is nagiging heavy na or nakakapag-affect na po siya sa daily life natin, it's important po to ask for help from professionals po na like for example po yung guidance counselors po natin, teachers or even psychologists na makakapagbigay advice po sa atin and support and strategies based on the student situation. So, ang pagsisik po kasi ng help is not a sign of weakness. It's a responsible step towards self-care. Example po dyan is yung pagpupunta po natin sa guidance office when you feel persistently anxious or depressed po. Isa rin po sila na makakapagpatulong po sa atin na maging okay, ganon, na ma-reduce po yung pressure po, yung pagiging overwhelmed po natin, ganon. That's all.
So next, I'm going to talk about real life experiences naman about academic anxiety. So this was featured last February 28, 2025. Ang sabi nga, college student experiencing anxiety because of too much academic stress. So, na-feature siya ng GMA News, yung kung saan inaatake daw ng anxiety dahil sa sobrang stress sa pag-aaral. So, sabi nga kanina ni Cheska na it's not just about mental, it's about physical. Nagkakaroon din siya ng effect physically. So, makikita sa video, naninikip daw ang dibdib ng babae, hindi makahinga ng maayos at naninigas daw yung buong katawan. So, ang sabi niya, that time po kasi sunod-sunod, may dalawa po kaming defense sa major subjects. And then, sunod-sunod yung day ng defense namin and then sobrang dami pong ginagawa. Kwento ni Jennifer. Halos 3 buwan din kinimkim ni Jennifer ang nangyayari sa kanyang ACADS. So, dito, napapanood mo nga na hinahabol niya nga daw ang hininga niya at may paper bag siya sa mukha at nagre-regulate siya ng kanyang paghinga dahil sa lala ng kanyang condition. And this is what you can call anxiety attack. So, nung una kong naramdaman that time, sobrang naninikip yung dibdib ko, hindi ako makahinga ng maayos. Siguro nga rin po dahil sa sobrang pagod that time. So, let's not forget to rest. We always need to rest kahit naggaano kadami yung mga gawain. And that's why inatake. First time ko rin po yun na ganoon kalala yung anxiety attack ko. So, kinumpirma ng eksperto na anxiety attack ang nangyari na sinabing kahit hindi lahat nakakaranas ng mga gantong bagay, isa itong seryosong usapan at kondisyon. So, hindi dapat natin binabaliwala ang mga gantong kondisyon, lalo na madalas natin siyang nararamdaman. So, yung stress naman sa ACADS, hindi siya nawawala actually. Pero, as you can manage them, kung paano mo siya bibigyan ng ayos or ng magandang habits, doon mo mamamanage sa pinakamagulong habits na meron sa isang tao. So, yun nga, ang pinaka number 1 ay dapat tamang pagtulog, yung tamang lifestyle, tsaka yung good habits. Then, ang sabi nga nila, it's very important na huwag tayong mahiya kapag tayo ay may nakakaramdam ng ganitong kondisyon. And sapagkat ito ay nagiging problema ngayon na nagkakaroon ng stigma tungkol sa mental health disorder. Then, ayun, in all people, in all aspects, hindi tayo magkakapareho ng coping mechanisms. Every people has different kinds of how they cope up with their anxiety. But, it's never been too late na mag-try ng mga kahit anong coping mechanisms for you to cope up with your anxiety until you find something for yourself. Then, nag-dive deeper pa tayo kasi in this generation, we know na mostly they open up through online. So, I found out na, for example, I am suffering from GAD, which is generalized. Generalized siya overall, but since it is still connected with ACADS, nagkakaroon siya ng sleeping problems, difficulty in sleeping, then acidity, sometimes nagnanumb yung feet and hand niya, and worrying and difficulty in concentrating while studying. So, the anxiety is high before any big events like exam and presentations. And another problem here, nag-ask si user, what's your most effective anxiety coping strategy? I've been dealing with anxiety for a while, and one of the most effective strategies I found is writing in a journal, which is having a self-talk or having a time for yourself. Yun nga yung binabanggit niya. It took some time for me to realize, but the opposite of anxiety is clarity. By analyzing, breaking down, and facing my worries head-on. So, hindi mo dapat siya hinahayaan. Dapat mo din siyang pansinin at harapin dahil hindi mo mamamanage na lagpasan yung anxiety mo if you never tried to do on how you will cope up. Then I've been able to manage my anxiety better. Writing everything down and having a dialogue with myself, my journal, has been incredibly therapeutic. I've also discovered shared journaling communities where I can engage in conversation. Yun nga, like having a converse with other people. Mas sinasabi nga nila na it's better to converse with strangers kasi hindi ka nga nila kilala. They won't judge you and they will just listen you kasi kakalimutan din naman nila, hindi ka nila kilala. Pero it's a good thing din to have a conversation with someone you know, someone who's close to you, and someone who is, someone who can understand you deeply. Then engage conversation with myself and with other who are going through similar experiences. If you're unsure about what kind of life you want to live or what you're passionate about, starting a dialogue with yourself might be a good first step. I believe that eventually we will find all the answers we seek. So the next na research ka is, this one are the comments. Nag-ask si user ulit na, how do you cope up with your anxiety? Sabi ni anonymous participant, believe me, I struggled with this in such an extreme level. I had a conversation with teachers every week and had other issues going on. And I felt very pressured to keep my high ranks. And this turned out to have me experiencing the worst anxiety ever, which is, this one describes about having a high expectation for yourself. So in terms of your ACADS, I would never wish it upon someone. To be honest, I haven't really handled it, but it gave my clarity knowing that no matter what my ATHAR was, there was other pathways to universities, and that I'd never see half these people again. In terms of tips before exam, I'd highly recommend having a chocolate and 5 minutes away from everyone else. So, sabi nga din nila, that chocolate makes you feel better. Then, having a clarity with yourself, you must have at least take time for yourself to breathe fresh air, to have a consultation for yourself and confront yourself, talk to yourself, na until you get better. Until you got better. And from everyone else, to just sit in silence and plan out your attack for your paper. It sounds hard, but it is something that will develop over time, and hopefully I don't experience this stress as well. So the last thing, the last comment that I've seen is about from Curie Chemistry, some user. So sabi niya, hi, you've mentioned such an important factor that affects students' performance in exam. A lot of the time, we find students know that content and exam taking becomes about their ability to show in the exam. So, nag-recommend sila na keeping yourself in a calm environment before exam. Avoid speculating what could be in the exam beforehand. So, don't expect too much kung ano man yun. Kung ano man ang napag-aralan mo, that could be the answer. You might also want to avoid talking about the exam afterwards. Mas nakaka-stress siya lalo kapag inaalala mo. Okay lang, tapos na rin naman siya, huwag mo na siyang alalahin. Getting a good night's sleep before the exam, yes, you need to have a good rest before ka mag-exam. Mahirap mag-exam ng puyat. So, wake up with enough time to have a slow morning before exam so you are not rushing to get to school. Then, practice deep breathing, sabi nga nila kanina, and exercise to calm your heartbeat. So, yun na.
Okay, so yan. Let's conclude everything na nasabi natin kanina. So, very, very important na maunawaan natin yung academic anxiety kasi nai-help niyo tayo ma-recognize yung emotional and physical sign na pwedeng mag-interfere sa learning performance natin. Kasi kapag hinayaan natin siya, hayaan lang siya mag-prevail, hayaan lang natin maramdaman yung mga signs na yun, mas tend na dalhin natin siya. Dali natin sa profession natin. At yan yung bagay na iniiwasan natin kapag dadating na tayo sa punto, kailangan talaga natin or seryoso na tayo sa mga errands natin sa buhay. Kasi inaalaw tayo nito na i-address yung issue ng maaga kaysa lumala or mag-grow pa siya lalo. Kasi kapag nag-grow siya lalo, mababa yung self-esteem mo at mababurnout ka. At alam natin kapag na-burnout ka, it takes years to finally heal. Talagang yung buong pagkatao mo yung i-heal mo pag na-burnout ka. So, by familiarizing those coping strategies, implications, and causes, mas magiging equipped tayo paano ma-manage yung stress at anxiety sa pedagogical settings. At ma-maintain natin yung healthier balance kung saan yung mga academic demands and personal well-being natin is magkakaroon siya ng maayos na kalagayan. Mas ma-encourage tayo na i-improve yung both performance natin, pati yung mental health natin. Pero hindi lang sa performance at mental health natin, ganun din sa physical health natin. So, yung pag-unawa sa academic anxiety, masisi natin siya as small thing lang. Kung nag-focus tayo sa shallow level, kung saan, ano lang naman yun, kaba lang naman yun eh. Lilipas din yan. Kung naniniwala ba kayo sa exposure therapy? Kasi sa exposure therapy, sabi nila, i-associate mo yung sarili mo sa bagay na takot ka. At kapag na-expose ka sa stimulus na yun, mas tend na mag-thrive ka. Mas tend na, alam mo na next time kung ano yung gagawin mo, kung ano yung mga effective strategies na pwede mo gawin para ma-counter yung circumstances na kinaharap mo. So, ayun, thank you for listening po. At sana marami po kayong natutunan sa discussion po.
Uy, alam mo ba, di ba nga lately sobrang daming pinabasa, tapos exam week pa natin. Sobrang na-overwhelm talaga ako, like, sobrang stress, gano'n. Tapos, ang ginawa ko na lang para ma-overcome ko yung pagiging overwhelmed ko sa lahat. Nanood talaga ako ng mga gusto kong movies, gano'n. Tapos, tinreat ko yung sarili ko. Kayo ba? Kayo? Ate Kate, anong ginawa mo pag na-experience mo yung gano'n?
Mostly, kung ako man ay nagkakaroon ng academic anxiety or parang nahihirapan akong i-organize yung mga thoughts ko. So, ang una kong ginagawa is iisipin ko muna kung ano yung mga factors na nagpapagulo sa mga dapat kong i-focus. Then, after that, i-eliminate ko na sila, tatanggalin ko muna sila para makapag-focus na ako. Then, the next thing that I'll do is arrange ko yung problem into highest to lowest. So, all I have to do is the lowest muna para mabilis yung process. Then, nakamahirap na.
Kayo, yung iba! Jessica, kayo!
Ako, kapag nakakaranas ako ng parang sobrang pressure sa school, ang ginagawa ko, nag-unwind talaga ako. Hindi naman ako gumagala talaga na as in gala, pero bibigyan ko yung sarili ko ng time para mag-isip at para parang alam niyo yun, yung parang conquering na yung worries, yung bigat sa bigat sa ulo mo. Kasi yung parang napapaisip ka na, ako naman muna. Oo, talaga. Kasi, pag may mga ngayon, katulad na lang nitong mga nakaraang week, di ba, parang tuloy-tuloy siya, walang patin na, kung nagising mo, may gagawin ka, matutulog ka, may gagawin ka kinabukasan. Ganun talaga. Kaya, ngayon, pagtapos ng exam, parang nakahinga na rin ng maluwag, pero may exam pa ng kaya medyo pa rin, parang burden pa rin. Kaya ayun, pag gano'n talaga, nag-unwind talaga ako. Or di kaya, inuuna ko talaga sarili ko kasi hindi po pwedeng hindi mo unahin yung sarili mo pag may mga ganun eh. Kasi mas lalo ka lang down, mas lalo kang hindi ka talaga makakapag-perform ng mga.
Gawa ko talaga kapag makakaranas ako ng ganun. Naglalaro ako, which is yung pag-ML. Kasi doon ko lang nailalabas. Pero parang mas lalo akong nai-stress eh dahil sa mga kakampi ko.
Hindi ka ba niyan
ganun talaga ginagawa ko kapag...
Hindi ka ba niyan, di ba kapag nagsimula ka na mag-ML, parang tuloy-tuloy ka na? Hindi mo ba Hindi ba parang...
Hindi. Nakakaya ko naman siyang tawag ng tigilan kapag alam kong meron akong gagawin. Like, kunwari sa school, napipigilan ko naman siya. Pero kapag talagang nai-stress ako, ayun talaga ginagawa ko, nag-ML ako. Yun ang ginagawa ko. Tapos nanonood ako ng tapos motivational video. Ikaw, Josh, ano nang ginagawa mo kapag nakakaranas ka ng stress?
Ako, ginagawa ko lang ay umawak lang ako ng bola. Kasi alam mo naman yun, di ba? Kapag tambak na activities, assignments, then yung deadlines, talagang yung pressure parang nasa likod mo lang. So ang ginagawa ko, kukuha lang ako ng basketball, tapos dediretso na ako sa court, then mag-dribble na ako, shoot lang, mapalipas oras, until yung sa isip ko, ay mawala na, kumbaga yung bigat. Kaya ang ginawa ko, lagi ako nagba-basketball kapag feel ko, lagi na ako nag-pressure dahil sa academics.
Our webinar video, I would just like to remind my fellow students some things that they need to consider in order to navigate the impact of academic anxiety. Okay, so I understand that academic anxiety is not something that can be taken care of in ng isahan ng naupuan or overnight. I know that academic anxiety is very hard to deal with, and it's something that a lot of students is experiencing in room setting. So gusto ko lang paalalahanan ng bawat isa ka mga kapwa ko estudyante that always be patient with yourself, kasi in this world we are currently experiencing a lot of struggles na to begin with, and if you're going to give yourself a hard time, extra hard time, mabobombard talaga sa isip natin, and thus it will affect our mental, emotional, social, and physical health. At malalaman talaga natin na naging bad na yung effect ng academic anxiety kapag nakaka-affect na siya sa pang-araw-araw natin. As for example, naging irritable na tayo, nagbabago-bago yung moods natin, and with those factors, mapapansin natin na nakaka-apekto na siya sa pang-araw-araw natin at lalong makaka-apekto pa siya sa academic performance natin. So, naiintindihan ko na ang bawat isa sa atin ay maraming mga pinagdadaanan sa buhay. Doon sa discussion namin, marami kaming na-mention ng mga factors na pwede i-consider para magkaroon tayo ng effective coping strategies na magagamit natin para if ever man makaka-encounter tayo ng mga circumstances kung saan kailangan natin mag-act accordingly or mag-decide rightfully is magagamit natin yun as a part of rationalized decision that we can apply sa mga situations na nararanasan natin everyday. And also, let's break the stereotype na kapag nakakakita tayo ng mga student na hindi gano'n nakakapag-perform ng maayos sa school, is tatawagin na natin silang tamad. It usually happens in groupings. Mapapansin natin na pag hindi lang nakapag-ambag tugis ng groupmates natin, is iisipin natin na tamad sila at talagang incapable sila. Let's break that stigma kasi it's really not true. Maybe they're just experiencing a lot of problems or concerns sa, let's say, sa bahay nila or maybe sa mga friends nila. Let's break that stereotype. I mean, let's break that thinking kasi it is not healthy. Hindi natin nasasabi kung ano ba yung pinagdadaanan ng isang tao or ano na ba yung kinaharap niya na wala tayong idea na maybe yung maliit na act na yun is part, ano lang siya, guest lang siya na kung anong meron na buhay siya. Kaya, let us be patient, let us be kind to everyone, and let's not assume that easily, especially sa mga student na nakakasalamuhan natin or nakaka-interact natin. Additional, I would just like to remind my fellow students that it's very important to eradicate early signs of academic anxiety. So along with this fact, it is also very important to integrate effective coping strategies na magagamit natin kapag mag-deal tayo with a specific circumstances that requires us to decide rightfully kung ano ba talaga yung mga dapat natin gawin in order to give solutions to academic anxiety like stress, pressure, or yung simply magiging bombarded ng mga utak natin. So, as a webinar video namin, I hope you guys are able to grasp your own experiences, and by grasping it, by giving a reflection about yourself, sana mas naunawaan nyo yung pinaka-mean ng webinar video na to, and it is that to educate our fellow students that academic anxiety is not something that can easily be taken care of. So talagang pinagtutuunan dapat siya ng pansin, and dapat binibigyan natin siya ng importansya. Especially yung sarili natin, dapat binigyan natin siya ng importance, ng meaning. Dapat lagi tayong healthy in all aspects. So ayun na